Hey, it's Chris Lose. Thank you so much for joining us for our Conversations with Candidates 2024. The show was originally created by Mr. Ralph Walker with the intention of us, the community here in Monrovia, getting to know our candidates better, as opposed to just driving down a street, seeing signs and seeing names and having no idea who it is we're supposed to tick the box for on March 5th. Write that date in, March 5th. Show up. It's very important. And that's why we're doing this, so you can know the candidates better. So let me introduce to you our current Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Larry Spicer.
How you doing, Chris?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Before we start, I just want to say thank you. Service to a community is a lot of work, and it's a non-stop, around the clock thing. So thank you for doing it and for serving the amount of years that you have.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So let's start for the person who might have just moved to the city. Let them get to know who you are, where you're born, raised, family.
Well, like you said, my name is Larry Spicer. I was born and raised here. As a matter of fact, today I've been living in Monrovia 69 years because today is my birthday.
Yeah.
So I've had the opportunity to serve Monrovia under 16 to 18 mayors, from Joseph Walker to Becky Shevlin. So my family moved here in 55. I attended all the schools in the Monrovia Unified School District. After graduating from high school, I joined the military. I served for 21 years, and I came back to get involved in the community with a few other things that happened in between, and here I am, serving the people.
Were all the schools the same? Like, was it still the same, the elementaries, junior highs, or was there anything that added since that you can remember?
Everything was the same, except Huntington School is no longer there.
Right. It's
a early learning center now.
Got it.
But that's the school that I attended as a kindergartner.
Yo, I love it. I love the history.
Yes.
So, who are some people behind the curtains for you, folks that endorse you, campaign manager?
Well, my campaign manager is my baby girl, Layla Spicer. She just graduated from Howard University, political science.
Okay.
So she's working me to death.
All right.
My social media person and government affairs young lady is my oldest daughter, Savannah. All of my kids attended Monrovia schools and went on to college. Social media was Savannah. Lois Gaston, who is a consultant. Delphine Spicer, who is my wife. Yeah. That's one of my consultants, slave driver. And Scott Austin, who is another consultant of mine.
Cool. So for the uncomfortable question, who is your largest financial contributor on your campaign?
So far, it's been a couple of people, like $100, $200. No big donors as of yet.
Okay.
I've applied to a couple of PACs, but I haven't heard anything as of today.
Okay. Perfect. So what is it different this time running? You ran before, we had the conversation last time as you ran for city council. And in this election, you're running for mayor of the city. Is it different running for mayor?
Yes. It's a lot different than running for city council. Mm-hmm. I mean, I run the same campaign. I get out there, I go door to door. I talk to the people, knocking on the door, talking to people. You understand their wants, their needs, and you learn a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of hard work, Chris, to be honest with you. It's worth it, though, because it's a city that you were born and raised in, and I don't mind putting in the work because I like giving back to the people. That's just the way, that's how my family's always been, is giving back to the community.
Cool. Who are you endorsing for city council this year? Got a few people running.
I'm endorsing Sergio Jimenez and Edward Belden.
Okay, cool. Do you have a campaign slogan or a theme that you're running on?
Yes, my theme is progress delivered, not just promises made.
Okay, go.
When I become mayor, you become mayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me more than that. So delivered. So as you came up with that, what was it that led you to that slogan? Like, this embodies what I'm doing
Excuse
and
me.
what I'm about.
Well, when you look at what's going on currently in the city, Chris, we need to activate the Gold Line area. We need to put some type of restaurant needs to go in there. We need to bring that old time good feeling that's going on uptown down to Station Square. And by doing that, we can bring entrepreneurs in and twice a year, let the young people come in and showcase their business, okay? We can do that a couple of times a year, and that'll activate Station Square. 2, we need to do a little bit more for our seniors, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are now. The other thing is reestablishing the teen scene, because now there's nothing for them to do. Growing up as a kid, there was a lot of things that the adults had going on in Monrovia in order to keep us busy and out of trouble. Yeah. Well, right now, it's not too many things going on. The only happening is bonds.
Sure.
So we need to get the kids out of there. Yeah. And I would like to bring the teen scene back into Library Park. And just give them a bunch of activities so they can enjoy a lot more things than just up there causing havoc. And finally, the other thing I would like to do is have, as the mayor, I would like to have like an informal coffee setting, where we get together and talk about some things that are on their mind. So that way they don't have to come to the council meeting and there's all this riffraff going back and forth. We can sit down, talk about it. Then myself and the council can come together and bring some type of solution to whatever we learn from these little coffee gatherings.
Oh, I dig that. So you touched on a few things. If you could say one thing, what would you like to see Monrovia do better? Well, obviously, it could be done across the board, but if you were to just look at something maybe closer to your heart or something that you see.
Well, I wish we still had the redevelopment I wish we were able to help the people that are having problems, trying to own a piece of property here. There used to be a program where the county would give $25,000 to a family, and they had to stay there living in that property for, I think it's 15 years or 10 years before they were able to sell the house. And Monrovia had some type of program years ago like that. But if we were able to take some monies in order to help some of the peoples get into the first-time home buyers program, I think that would be very beneficial.
That's huge. Was actually one of the things here I wanted to kind of just ask. We talk about affordable housing, but is that like a reality or a myth with that word being so different for everybody, right?
Well, I'll tell you this, Chris. I've been working with a gentleman from HUD on, it's like a 6-step process, right? In order to bring some type of affordable housing to Monrovia. Now, this is a dream, that we've been working on, where we can buy a piece of land or somehow go in and purchase, just like a developer would, right?
Yep.
And take that land and make it affordable through funding from HUD in order to make the whole thing happen. But I do have the 6-step process, but it would take the city, HUD, and the city council in order to put this package together.
Wow, love that.
Okay.
ideas you have or may have to help unsheltered folk here in Monrovia? Are there rehabilitation opportunities within the city, or is that a broader San Gabriel Valley thing?
Really, to be honest with you, Chris, it's a broader San Gabriel Valley item, but I've talked to a couple of these commercial building people, right? Mm-hmm. I just wanted to talk to them and see what they had to say. What I wanted to do, or if possible, was to see if they would allow us to come in and house some of the people that are sleeping out there into their buildings that are empty. But the first thing the owners asked me was, well, how are we going to keep it secured? What about the drugs? What about the this and that?
Sure.
You know, how do you fix all the ifs? If this happened or that happened. I mean, it can work, but then when the property becomes available to sell, then the people are going to be back out on the streets again. I mean, look at the commercial building down on, what is that, Maple and Myrtle.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? There's two commercial buildings there.
Yeah.
What if we were able to utilize those two buildings, turn them into, like, whether it would take a lot of money, but turn them into affordable housing, one piece of it, and the other one like what would you call it, temporary housing?
Okay.
For the people transitioning, off the streets into this little unit and into permanent housing,
Yep.
But you got to think that way in order to try and find a solution, because there's always a solution to things. It's just how long it takes you to get there, right?
Yeah, true. You talked about the seniors a little bit earlier. What's a way that you think we could better serve our seniors here in town?
We need to bring more activities to them, right? Right now, we're feeding the seniors twice a month at Jake's.
Okay.
Right? And they're eating from one of the care facilities, bring in food too, right? We get food there. But what if we were able to feed them from a restaurant every week? If we can have trips, whether we take them to Vegas, right? Give them Vegas trip, let them offset some of the costs, $25, $30, just how they do the turnarounds, right? Or take them, bus trips to, whether it's over to the Norton Simon Museum, just more activities than just sitting around in 11. Bingo. It's just, there's plenty of activities that they can be doing, and they need to be moving instead of sitting around.
Yeah.
It's just, our community center does a great job, but how do we expand on that? With the improvement of the community center and this new building we have, we should be able to do it, Chris.
I like that. I like the idea of getting them out, too.
Yes.
I think that's important. Get them moving.
That's right. You have to.
Measure K, it is something that has been talked about. We've talked about it since last election. I know the funds are still there, somewhere close, ballpark of $20 million. When or is there a plan to allocate those funds? And what is your thought on those funds?
Well, Chris, we're going to start spending money, but we wanted to wait to see how much it was going to cost to fix Canyon Park, to get it going. Okay. Because Canyon Park is a vital piece of property in Monrovia. And we just wanted to make sure we were able to have enough money to do, just in case we didn't get money from the state or the federal government, we needed to have that avenue of money there. Yeah. But we're gonna prioritize some things and start utilizing Measure K. But Chris, like I understand, people see money, they're ready to do what? spend,
Yeah.
spend.
Yep.
And then if we were doing all this spending, and then they're going to say, well, you were the council, you're supposed to be in control of this, right? And I know it's the citizens' money, and it's my money too, right?
Yeah.
But we want to do the right thing. You
Okay.
know,
Yep.
we want to be very, not conservative, but good stewards of the citizens' money.
For sure. And if my understanding is correct, a lot of the money for Canyon Park has been, we got through grants and stuff like that. So we will be able to allocate Measure K funds to things other than Canyon
Yes.
Park, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
I loved your thought. I was going to ask about the Station Square district. I really think what you said was cool. I think that's an area that could use work. Redevelopment was something I also had here on the note, and was just like, I remember Huntington Drive having the Man 6 Theater, Round Table Pizza. Like, I never hung out on Myrtle Street growing up here. Like, we were down there. You know, that was the arcade. You know, the friends, the ladies was over there. That was our hangout. Like, so had a couple friends that worked at the theater.
Yes.
So you did speak to Station Square. Would that be your priority, or do you feel like Monrovia has like a few pockets where we could create, I guess, spaces of entertainment and socializing?
Station Square is a perfect spot if we do it right. We didn't do it right, Chris, in the beginning. Okay, the way it's situated in there.
Yeah.
Even with the amenities of the kids, little rides and stuff, we didn't do it right. You know, I'm not afraid to say it. We just didn't go about doing things right, right? We should have been able to set aside some money to put more infrastructure into the internal parts of Station Square, because it's gonna cost about $1 million to, if a restaurant goes in there, it's gonna cost about $1 million to actually finish off the inside of it and put in everything that you need for a restaurant.
And that's the spot you're talking about where, so the park is there, and then as the train is going, that building?
That building.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's
yes.
usually fenced off.
Yes.
Okay.
It's beautiful inside, Chris.
Okay.
You been in there?
The fence is there, so I just walked and
Yeah.
kind of peeked my head in, but I've never seen it. Is it big?
It's nice, Chris.
Okay.
It's nice. You know what what I was thinking about was, I wonder if it would be good if I can put on the east side of the building, it has a room over there, right? I said, man, all these apartments coming in, maybe I can do where they can drop off the laundry and catch the train, and then maybe a day or two they can pick up their laundry there. I'm talking about a little business, right? Or a little coffee shop on that other side. You know, something besides just letting that beautiful building sit there,
Yeah.
right? You can grab a newspaper, you know, coffee or something, a donut.
Can they do work to it, or is that like a historically protected building so you can't really touch it?
No,
Okay. I didn't know that. That's
No.
cool.
but it could be, you know, you can't just go in there and just go buck wild.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
You got to stay within the perimeters of the historical piece of that building. Right?
So no Chick-fil-A, not another Chick-fil-A is what you're saying.
Yeah. No more chicken places. We've had enough. A lot of people think, you know, the city's bringing in all these people, but Chris, I can't tell you what to do with your building. You spending the money as long as the zoning is there and you're following all the guidelines of the city.
Yeah.
That's your business.
Hey, man.
If you
Chicken
come
wars,
with a
we
new
got
type
it.
of chicken, that's on you, right?
So do you think the city council and school district could collaborate better? I believe Monrovia Days is maybe a space the two combine. And what would that look like?
The school district in Monrovia, the collaboration with the district and the city,
Yes.
it's there. It's there. Has there been hurdles? Yes. But, my heart, I'm a Wildcat, right? I'm a Wildcat, I'm a Cub, I'm all of the above, because that's where I came from. And I always believed that relationship is what builds the city. A good city, good schools, people are going to come. People are going to want to be a part of it. And when Rob and I and a couple other people, it was some dollars out there about Monrovia days, because I came up being in the parade, from the Cub Scouts to the Boy Scouts, and just being active in the parade and all the things that came along with it. We just had to bring it back. Now, that's one partnership, but there should be a lot of more things that we can do together. We had the cookout. That was great. Maybe next time we have the not the cookout, but the get together in the chef's kitchen. Maybe we can cook some soul food and see if.
I would love to see it. And I ask because I just feel like the two are kind of these two islands that are here in the same city.
Yes.
And that was the
Yes,
ask.
you hit the nail on the head, Chris.
Yeah.
It should be cohesive, right?
Yep. So we are just under 10 minutes right now. Still a few things to get to,
Okay.
but
I'll shut up. I know I'm talking.
nah, this is your time.
All right.
This is your time.
Okay.
What would be the best way you think we could bring more jobs to Monrovia? I know you've been doing a lot with the adult school and work in that space. But your take on jobs here.
The chamber, the businesses, and the job center is how it's supposed to work. When I first got on the council 11 years ago, I became the liaison to the workforce board, the Foothill Workforce Board. I went there, Chris. I'm sitting there for 2 years trying to figure out this whole thing. The city was getting, now prior to me going, it had been almost 30 years that the city's been involved. So on a minimum of $100,000 was coming in for the city of Monrovia. And it was 6 cities involved, right, in this Joint Powers Authority. But I'm looking at the services that Monrovia was getting. And the services wasn't there, but the money was there for us. Now, Pasadena was a physical agent, right?
Okay.
Of all the monies that the feds was putting in for the other cities, right? So I came back to the council and I asked the council, can I work on us leaving the Foothill Workforce Board and going back to the county? Chris, it was a hell of a fight, okay? Because we got a lot of pushback. But man, we weathered the storm. We get a lot of services now from the county. We have a big job fair coming in that's going to be happening on February the 29th. All the people that attends that job fair will be able to eat a double-double from In-N-Out, okay? And it's going to be at least 30 businesses there for people to take in applications. Even the city will be there looking for employment.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what it's all about, Chris, is putting the people to work, especially the young people.
Yeah.
So, I know it's short.
No, that's great. I love hearing that.
All right.
Question from MHS Free Speech Club. They sent a few questions. The one I selected, how have you personally upheld the right to free speech?
That's a good question. Free speech, Chris, is I take it as a council member, when somebody's come to me and talk, I got to be a good listener, right? Because if I'm talking all the time, I can't do what? I can't hear what the other person is saying.
Correct.
And that was one thing my dad taught me is you sit and you listen and you understand, because you don't know what to do with what you're hearing unless you hear the whole thing, right? So I try to be a good listener to make sure I understand what they're telling me And then I'll go back and ask you, is this what you're really asking me? And if I can help, I'm going to help, Chris. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll help. You know, titles, having titles and all that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm a worker. I'm there for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, and I've seen it too. You've definitely helped connect dots for me as well. What have you been most proud of while serving on council? If you could point at one thing and tell us about that, what would it be?
Wow. What I'm proud about is just being able to serve the people, Chris. You know, to be able to grow up here as a kid, it kind of brings tears to my eyes when you asked me that question. You know, growing up as a kid here and to be able to sit here in this seat as a council member representing almost 38,000 people, it's a blessing, okay?
Yeah, I dig it.
It's a blessing. It brings chills on me when I even talk about it, you know, but I'm good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. The next question, please.
Yeah. Now we're there. Now it's your time. If there's anything that I didn't mention, anything that you'd like to talk about, you've been serving on the council. This is you campaigning now for the mayor seat. You've seen so much of Monrovia. What is it that you'd like to speak to?
Well, Monrovia, I've been on the council 13 years. I've been able to serve you, and I know I'm ready to take that leap of faith and be your mayor. I have no other ambition outside the community, or I don't try and do things that cannot help Monrovia. What I do, I try to make sure that what I'm doing is for Monrovia. Monrovia is in my heart because when I check out of here, they're gonna kick the dust in my face here in Monrovia, just like the seed was planted in my mom when I first came here. So I hope and pray that you give me the opportunity to serve as your mayor. Why? Because when I become mayor, you become mayor. And God bless you. And God bless America.
Thank you again to all our candidates for joining us. Conversations with the Candidates 2024. My name is Chris Lose. It's been an honor doing this. Each candidate was reached out to and given the same amount of time to speak freely and let you know why you should vote for them on March 5th.